Okay, so for today, we're going to find the area of the shaded sector, which we call the sector area, like the area of part of a circle. For number 27, I see find the area of the shaded sector given the radius and the central angle. Give your answer in terms of pi or as a decimal, round to two decimal places. Okay, so let me see. Here at the side, let's talk about this real quick. Let's talk about this. So having a circle, and I want to know the area of part of a circle. Well, this was kind of like what we did yesterday, right? With arc length. We're going to be using a fraction here. We're going to be using a ratio, two fractions, I mean. The area of the sector, area of sector, which people call sector area to make it smaller, divided by the area of the circle, that gives us a fraction. Area of the sector, again, people call sector area, divided by the area of the circle, it is going to be equal to the central angle divided by angle in circle. We know the angle of a circle is 360, so that number is basically given. But the area of the sector divided by the area of the circle, notice the sector area is smaller than the whole circle, right? It is equal to the central angle divided by the angle in the circle. So having that said, let's take a look at number 27. Remember, we just learned our ratio now. So find the area of the shaded sector. Okay, so I'm gonna say, okay, let me set two fractions equal to each other. And as a reminder, we're gonna go sector area or area of circle. I mean, it's the area of the sector. Sector area divided by the circle area is equal to central angle divided by angle of circle. So do we know the sector area? No, right? Because that's what we're solving for. It says find the area of the shaded sector. So I'm going to call that X. Do we know the area of the circle? Well, what how, what do you guys remember the area of the circle? What's the formula? Do you guys remember what's the formula for the area of a circle? Does anybody? Think about it. Area of the circle. Didn't we learn it as radius times pi? So people call it radius squared pi, but isn't radius squared the same thing as radius times pi? Okay. Our radius here is 6, right? So I'm gonna call this 36 times pi. For right now, let me just call it 36 pi. I don't want to be dealing with decimals yet. I can just call it 36 pi. Now, what's the central angle? Well, it's 136. Angle of a circle is 360. So I'm going to be able to cross multiply. 360 times x is 360x. Now here, I can easily do 136 times 36, right? 136 times 36 is 4,080, 4,896 times pi. Like I said, I don't want to deal with pi just yet. I'm just calling it pi. And let me divide each side by 360. So that's what x is going to equal to. 4,896 times pi divided by 360. Let me bring up my calculator. I have a fraction. Remember, I had a fraction, so I'm going to type in my fraction. And let's remember what I had. I had 4,896 times pi. Now I can use the pi symbol or I can use 3.14, whatever you guys want. For this example, I'm going to use the pi symbol. And at the bottom we had 360, right? I'm going to round my answer to 2 decimal places. So let me call this 42.73. So my sector area is 42.73. Now, if we had not used the pi symbol, we had used 3.14 instead of pi symbol, we would have gotten the answer as 42.70. So whether we use the pi symbol or 3.14, there is a slight difference. In my case, what I'm going to do when I create you guys' homework, I'm going to type in both possible answers. Whichever one you guys type in, it will mark it correct. So use the pi symbol or use 3.14 as you wish. Let's take a look at question number 28 here. Let me highlight here. I'm using this part right here, right? So I had to create two fractions and they're equal to each other. So it says find the area of the shaded sector. Okay, the sector area, I don't know. So I'm solving for x there. Given the radius and central angle. The radius is 4. So that means that area of the circle is 4 times 4 times pi. So let me call this 16 pi. So circle area is 16 pi. My central angle is 108 and the angle of the circle is 360. So when I cross multiplied, 360 times x is equal to, now 108 times 16 is 1,728 times pi. Let me divide both sides by 360. So my calculator, I'm going to type in 1,728 times pi divided by 360. So I'm going to type in a fraction. So I'm going to go 1,728 times pi. But this time I'm going to use pi as a 3.14 and then divide this by 360. Again, I want you guys to use either the pi symbol or 3.14. Intentionally, I use one of each. Okay, so my case here is going to be what? 15.07. Because I'm going to run it to 2 decimal places. So my area is going to be 15.07. If you had used the pi symbol instead of the decimal, you had used the pi symbol, your answer is 15.08. Which one do you use? It's up to you. Okay. Make sure you guys know your formula here, your fraction here.